Absolutely stacked list of anime in fall 2022. This year's winter starts off with a bang as it continues the hype for all the new anime releases, with beloved shows such as Vinland Saga, Bungo Stray Dogs, and Attack on Titan returning for another season, and unexpected yet very welcome new shows like Nier Automata and Trigun Stampede. There's bound to be loads of badass moments to keep viewers on their toes. So without further ado, here are the most badass moments in anime this winter of 2023.
世界を盾にすれば見逃してもらえるとでも思ったか
We have the return of one of the most badass isekai characters in recent memory. Demon King Arnos Voldigod returns for a second season by killing a god and reviving him again. Once more, is that all of this happened just in the first episode of the series? This moment perfectly sets the tone for the absurdity that's to come this season. The animation quality is more or less the same, but one thing to note is the change in voice actors for Arnos.
アノス・ボルディゴードだ。
奴を害しようという意志がなくば何も起こらん。
But I honestly think that the voice doesn't deter me from the overall feeling of seeing him kill the heavenly god in one hit and revive him again, so I'm excited for what's yet to come, especially after seeing just how much of an unstoppable force of nature he is, that even the gods have to conjure up a plan to have a chance at defeating him.
しばらくおとなしくしてるがいい。俺の懐で授業でもしながらな。バチッコーン It's not every day that this anime goes hard, but when it does, it mixes it really well with an underlying emotional tone that they've built up over the course of a few episodes. This one really pulls on your heartstrings as we see our heroes being cursed by Ouroboros with trauma. We see both Iruma and Clara struggling with their past and greatest fears, and after overcoming this, Iruma goes to save Clara and we finally see his archery training from Bachiko pay off. Ours coming in clutch to save his friends from a mind-controlled Ouroboros gives the main trio time to shine in their own way. With a surprise appearance, we have the underrated Revenger. Not to be confused with Tokyo Revengers, this anime is more akin to Hellgirl, with a group of vigilantes taking requests from dying people to take, as the name suggests, revenge. This comes from the first contract that the main character, Gurima, takes together with the doctor, Murakami. The team kill here is visually fantastic as it shows the devastation of the doctor's arrow shot obliterating a boat and a bodyguard. Gurima then comes in to finish the kill using a gadget that allows him to seemingly move fluidly and cross the water, beheading the target. We've got a fun ride ahead, so why not hand it to our sponsor for the day, Tokyo Treat and Sakurako. These are two snack boxes that allow you to experience the wonders of Japan from your own home. And what better way to do it than through these delicious treats that showcase some of the best parts of Japanese life. Spring, as we know from anime, is the season of new beginnings. It's also the season of sakura blooming, and these two snack boxes are here to let you get a taste of that with their appropriately themed treats. Tokyo Treat, the monthly pop snack box that gives you the most exclusive seasonal snacks, is here to invite you to a Sakura picnic party. I'm sure looking forward to having you taste these sweets, because where else can you find Sakura flavored manju? How about these peach flavored Kit Kat and some exquisite ramen flavors that you just won't find anywhere else? However, Sakurako's not ready to be left behind. This box, which focuses more on the authentic and local side of things, boasts a partnership with a lot of the best local snack makers in Japan, letting its patrons experience authentic, artisan Japanese snacks from the best of the best. Oh, and these come with kitchenware too. Since we're on the topic of traditional snacks though, Sakura season is also where Sakurako shines, and I'm very excited to get a taste of these pink mochi or the shortbread cookies. Whether you prefer Tokyo Treat or Sakurako, I only have one thing to say. Why not get both? And let me tell you as a friend that you shouldn't miss out on the chance to experience the Sakura season in a delicious way. They're even running a special promotion, and you can check it out through the link in the description box. Thank you, and back to the show we go.
Huh?
With
With the same name as the one before, we now have Tokyo Revengers. After the episode 8 cliffhanger when Daiju beating up our boy Takemichi and Hake, Mikey and Draken finally come to the rescue with a good old-fashioned beatdown. An instant one of that, actually. The fake out with Daiju seemingly beating Mikey and him bragging about it makes this all the more satisfying to see him instantly being on the ground after tasting one of Mikey's kicks.
You clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger.
The badass moment also continues as Hawkeye gets up from the beatdown to warn Mikey about the 100 Black Dragon members waiting outside, only to be presented with the scene of Draken beating all of them by himself. The sight of Draken defeating a whole gang and then just straight up waiting for Mikey to finish will never not be badass. With one of the most well-received anime this season, we have Eminence in Shadow.
Atomic.
Back at it again with another isekai, but not just any other isekai, it's the Edgelord himself. I found myself picking this one scene in particular because who doesn't like a guy who just casually drops a second nuke in just under 14 episodes, and no one else would be this crazy and off the rails except for Sid Garganu himself. The scene, the purple haze, the English, and the literal fact that he could have destroyed the facility by just using a fraction of his power, but instead opted to entirely obliterate it. See, that's what makes this MC and this anime special, because it owns the cringe and doesn't shine away from it, and that act is entirely encapsulated in how the MC deals with his enemies in a glorious, over-the-top and sometimes unnecessary fashion. But hey, that's why we enjoy the show, isn't it? Next up is Danmachi. Descending deeper into the dungeon, Belle and Ryu faced many challenges, eventually coming to a breaking point. After receiving fatal injuries in the dungeon, Ryu decided that the best course of action is to sacrifice herself for Belle, even forcibly doing it. As she lies in wait for a coming demise, considering it as judgment or punishment, Belle makes his entrance, and in typical Belle fashion, he enters the stage with a thunderous firebolt. With the music building up and Belle's Argonaut on the ready, he charges forth without a single care. Ryu should have seen this coming, to be honest. She would have known how selfless he acts when it comes to saving the people dear to him. The emotional weight behind the scene is heavy for sure, along with its outstanding music and sound design, leaving the audience satisfied. There's no way that this one couldn't be on the list. Lady Nagant versus Deku. With villains on the loose and the trust in heroes reduced to nothing, the whole situation looked pretty grim for our protagonist. The whole thing then turned from bad to worse when we found out that the former hero, Lady Nagant, is now after Deku. Saying Deku's transformation from a crying mess into a competent and badass hero was a really wild ride, and that change is effectively shown in his fight against Lady Nagant, which proved to be quite a challenge. With her quirk focusing more on long-range effectiveness combined with airwalk, she's a foe even Deku would find hard defeating. But with Deku's quick thinking, agility and spatial awareness, alongside his effective use of One for All, he manages to overcome yet another formidable foe, finishing it with a Manchester Smash.
Manchester Smash!
Bungo Stray Dogs gave us yet another amazing moment with the introduction of the hunting dogs. With the armed detective agency on the run after falling for Fyodor's ploy, the government sent in one of its dangerous yet effective units, the hunting dogs. Their introduction was badass enough on its own, but when we got the chance to witness its members' abilities, it just solidified how menacing and dangerous these guys are for our main cast. And that was demonstrated when one man single-handedly overpowered 4 members of the armed detective agency, easily destroying their means of escape and cutting them down in an instant. And without Chuya's interference, the story could have ended there. With everyone's backs in the corner, the hunting dogs will surely find their prey. Next, we have Arnis defeating the dragon in the magical revolution of the reincarnated princess and the genius young lady. Yuri fans rejoice once again as we finally have another Yuri isekai after Bacarina, and it's a pretty good one at that. With a great story and visuals, this moment stands out as it reminds me of the Excalibur scene from Fate Stay Night. The setup for this scene is amazing, as there are clear stakes with the lives of the adventurers being in danger if Arnis doesn't counter the dragon's attack head on, and counter she did, with an attack almost similar to the Excalibur noble phantasm of Saber from the Fate franchise. The sword being a symbol of Arnis's relentless determination to become a magician, thus making Euphilia support her all the way in the attack, gives another layer to their characters and their budding romance to further even more. Next up, with probably the saddest entry, is Attack on Titan, Hanji's Sacrifice. So with the rumbling starting its mindless rampage, the group found themselves right in its path. Due to Flock damaging their means of escape and the rumbling slowly approaching,
just stop it. Stop it. Why are you still alive? Why don't you just die already? Just die.
Hanji at that moment decided to do what's necessary for the group to survive. Charging forth without fear nor regret, Hanji took down one colossal titan after another in an attempt to slow them down, utilizing her 3D maneuvering gear to its fullest potential. But sadly, it all comes to an end when the heat became too much for her to handle. We then see Hanji go out in a blaze of glory, fighting until the very last moment with unwavering determination without a single trace of regret in her eyes. It might be a sad moment, but she went out in a way that was fitting for a member of the Survey Corps. Devote your hearts. This entry features one of the newest anime to air this season. We have 2B in Nier Automata. With the adaptation running smoothly and faithfully to the source material, everyone's favourite android takes the centre stage. We're first introduced to the scene via a dogfight sequence closely resembling the main game, which after that, we're then treated to an iconic entrance from 2B herself. With its stellar animation and fight choreography, the fluidity of how 2B fights is indeed mesmerizing, flying from one enemy to another and dispatching each and every one of them with minimal effect. And of course, we can't forget about Pod's assistance. Alongside its excellent voice acting and soundtrack, and its beautiful yet depressing story and tone contrasted by the awesome and chaotic fight scenes, one can't simply not admire this scene.
同様の攻撃方法は13時間34分の冷却時間が必要。 And from one of the most loved anime series, we have the ultimate tag team of Luffy and Yamato going up against Kaido in One Piece. Though it has time and time again surpassed our expectations in regards to their animation, always managing to land a spot in most lists for badass moments every season. And here they are, yet again with the team-up attack from Yamato's White Serpent and Luffy's Jet Culverin against Kaido, blowing our minds and us out of our seats this winter of 2023. The scene of Yamato preparing the attack with Momonosuke rising from the background and Luffy riding him is a perfect setup for what's about to come. With one of the most underrated yet deserving anime to be on this list, we have Trigun Stampede, Wolfwood using the Punisher Cross. With the remake looking really promising, one of the most iconic and beloved characters in the OG series finally makes his appearance in episode 4. After being devoured whole by a massive sandworm, we bear witness to Wolfwood's new and upgraded Punisher Cross, now outfitted with a powerful laser, and its classic machine with the remake a more modern design has been implemented into it. What makes this scene so badass is the slow build up to it and the smooth and satisfying way Wolfwood uses this hulking mass of a weapon, which is only made possible because of Studio Orange's masterful way of making 3D animation. They've really outdone themselves with this remake, and that's why they deserve to be on this list.
Following that is Boruto, or more specifically the fight between Boruto and Kawaki. In Boruto episode 292, Boruto and Kawaki finally face off, and let's just say it wasn't looking good for Kawaki as Momoshiki Boruto was destroying him. That's until he awakened Ishiki's power. In an awesome turn of events, Kawaki absorbs Boruto's massive Rasengan and counterattacks. The animation here surprised most viewers, seeing that Boruto didn't really have a good reputation when it comes to animation quality. The hand-to-hand combat was a breath of fresh air, and as flashback after flashback ensues, the fight gives the viewer that emotional kick that we've been looking for. With Kawaki's explosive final hit, something that truly made viewers have a second thought, Boruto becomes ace in what could be one of the most badass moments in winter 2023 for Kawaki.
I'm sorry, Mike. This whole thing could have been avoided.
Shut the up. Let me die in peace.
And those are my badass moments from the 2023 winter season of anime so far. With the number of memorable moments we've already seen just at the start of this year, we can almost certainly look forward to even more so in the future months. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm glad to have you here, and thank you so much again for watching this video.